So Kelley, will you give us a quick overview of what is emotional intelligence and why is it important?
Sure, Kim. That's a big question, especially in this day and age of workplace and talent recruitment and talent retention. Emotional intelligence is one of those things that has become a critical skill across all levels of an organization as well as all industries. And some people think, emotional intelligence only applies to, the people that are really bugged out and stressed out and just kind of at their wits' end and can't manage the ups and downs that life presents us. Or on the flip side of that, it's, the people who are, really experts at meditation and yoga and, kumbaya. So I'm here to tell you that it's somewhere in between both of those extremes, and that none of us is emotionally intelligent all of the time. So the textbook definition of emotional intelligence is it's the ability and the skills to perceive, understand, express, reason with, and manage emotions both within ourselves and other people. So I always talk about it being two sides of a coin. What do we got to do to, manage ourselves and keep ourselves resilient when life presents the challenges that life presents, but also how are we showing up on the other side of the coin? How are we showing up with others so that we can help them stay in their most productive and high performance states of mind? So another way to think about emotional intelligence is really it's just about being smarter with feelings and using emotions to get those positive results, again, within ourselves as well as other people. So I'm going to explain just a little bit about the science. So hopefully nobody checks out, on me when I explain this part. But this is a really critical part about emotional intelligence that all of us need to have down as a foundation, really. And so this slide is read left to right. Every time we have an encounter with another person, we are biologically wired to size up that encounter and decide whether or not that encounter is a threat or a reward, a positive encounter or a negative encounter. And so the amygdala is the part of our brain that is assigned this job to very quickly and unconsciously decide, is this a good situation for me or not? And it unconsciously and very quickly sends a message to this part of our brain called the prefrontal cortex, which is in the thinking part of our brain. Our thinking part of our brain decides, okay, so what's the next thing I should do? And so the prefrontal cortex is responsible for helping us decide what's the best thing to say, what's the best thing to do, determine good from bad, better from best, all the important things that we need to do to be able to connect, build rapport, collaborate, and communicate well with other people. And so real quickly, I'll just give an example. So if, for example, we are in a meeting with someone and we're brainstorming ideas about whatever, doesn't matter even what the topic is. And whoever's facilitating that discussion, just says, hey, you know what, Kim, that's a great idea. Tell me more about that. Well, most likely the amygdala is going to decide, hey, this is a good situation, a reward situation. I feel valued. I feel like I can make a meaningful contribution. It's going to tell the prefrontal cortex, this is a safe situation. Let's engage. Let's take risks. Let's communicate more. If, on the other hand, the person facilitating just totally dismisses your idea or glosses over your idea and doesn't engage you any further, Kim, you're probably going to feel, a little bit of these emotions: frustrated, stressed, concerned, worried. Why is Kelley, doing this? Why is she ignoring my ideas in this setting? And what will happen then is the prefrontal cortex will say, this is not a safe situation. And we will become more narrowed in our thinking. We'll have a limited amount of options that we think about, and we may even totally disengage from that conversation. In other words, our thinking skills actually get hijacked because, like I said, we're biologically wired for this. We're biologically wired to look for safe situations. And if things are not safe, we're looking to fight or flight. So let me just move into this slide real quickly. So the majority of people tend to fall, if you think about a bell curve, they tend to fall in that middle section. Most people fall in that area where, you know, that they're not really all that memorable. They're okay. You know, if we were going to describe how they show up with us, if they're just kind of average, we're going to be like, they were okay. We're not going to be, you know, screaming from the rooftop saying, this is a great person to work with, for, and around. And so what we want to do is we want to develop those behaviors associated with emotional intelligence to just nudge everybody just a little bit so that they can become more memorable, and memorable in a positive way. And so the nice thing about the model of emotional intelligence that I'm certified in, the GenOS International model, is it's a behavior-based model, and behaviors can be learned.
Absolutely.